Kamigawa. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 480 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right, you're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are gearing up to hit the streets of New Capenna, or you are so psyched about this OP announcement, we are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, indeed, we are going to talk about said OP announcement. That stands for Organized Play.
AKA the Pro Tour and all associated tournaments.
AKA the announcement people were waiting for years. Since the pandemic started and changed everything.
With bated breath. And here it is. It has arrived upon us now.
What does bated breath mean, though? Like, what's bated? Like
I think it means that your breath has been abated. Like,
is it like it's baited? It
like no, it was
it's like a worm on your breath. That's like, come here, news. I'm waiting for you.
It's BATED. Like your breath abated and you're holding it.
Sure.
Like bated breath. Okay, hold on.
Once it's abated, that means you've started breathing again. But when it's baited, you haven't breathed yet.
Okay,
we're getting to the bottom of this.
Why do we say bated breath? Great question. Made its first appearance, of course, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
In Merchant of Venice.
Wow.
Using a shortened form of abated, which means stopped or reduced.
Wow. Thanks, Willie Shakes.
Wow. I feel very smart right now.
I mean,
I just guessed.
Look, this is what Good Luck High Five is for. Magic knowledge and knowledge you didn't know you needed to know, but now you know.
Yeah, the phrase refers to people holding their breath in excitement or fear as they wait to see what happens next. Or excitement and fear, am I right? Anyways.
People must have talked about their breath abating a lot more back then than we do these days.
My breath is abated.
Oh, thank goodness my breath has abated.
Wait, that means you die. If it abates forever, you dead.
Okay, there's still some work to be done here. The point is, lots of people are breathing again now that we know what's happening with Organized Play.
Their breath was baited for 2 years.
And now what's the opposite of baited then?
Breathing.
Okay.
Not held. Exhalating and inhalating. I don't know.
We're going to go into exactly what it is. If you found it confusing at all, we hope to answer all of your questions and explain it for you and to talk about our takes on it.
Yeah,
you know?
We'll talk about our takes. We'll talk about some other people's takes.
Yeah.
We'll get the takes on takes.
Takes on takes.
That's what we're here for. Takes on takes. We'll also have a Scryfall randomizer. We'll have the penultimate chapter of the Kamigawa story.
I love any time I'm able to say penultimate.
Oh, it's great. It is second only to the ultimate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That joke gets the gold medal.
We're coming in hot today.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and so much more. But first, we have some people to thank. And first and foremost amongst them, not penultimate, ultimate amongst them, are you, our listeners.
Hey, are you a member of the Good Luck High Five family? If you're not, you can be in just a few short seconds over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Go there from your comp. Go there from your phone. Go there from your VR headset. Don't test me on that. I'm not sure if that's real.
We're not sure, but you can find out.
If you let us know, that would be sweet.
It would be. Thank you so much to Nom 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 Yoshi.
Yes.
For being a new patron this week, and to Ryan for increasing their pledge this week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both so very much. We know you hear it from us a lot. You hear it from us every week. And so maybe you're like, they don't really mean it. They don't really need me to become a patron.
Oh, we do though.
But we do.
We
do. We really very, very much do. And we always appreciate it so very much.
This past weekend, I was a commentator on the VML league.
Oh yeah.
It was really, really cool to see everybody playing in this league, which is a league for marginalized genders that Good Luck High Five is sponsoring this season. And we're so proud to sponsor it. And people were like, oh, we love Good Luck High Five. You know, you're my first favorite magic podcast and all that. And I'm like, well, I'm happy that we are now sponsoring you. So we've made this great circle of love. The Circle of Love. And that is all supported by you, our patrons, too. And hopefully you can become a member of the Circle of Love. TM for Good Luck High Five.
Thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, the ultimate place to go for all of your magic needs.
I love Card Kingdom. They're great. You can use our affiliate link. You can say GLHF and they'll give you a sticker or a token for free in your order. Order your stuff for Neon Dynasty if you want to get in some drafts with your friends, crack open a box. I think it'd be super fun. And Paper Play is returning, which we'll talk about later in this episode. So you're going to need some paper cards to go with that Paper Play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Card Kingdom, that's the best place to buy singles. That's where I buy them.
The best place. Pioneer, you're like, oh no, I need to get into Pioneer now.
Yep.
Guess what? Card Kingdom will help you as fast as they humanly can. Okay, here's a question.
Yes.
You know how you give people an ultimatum?
Yeah.
Can you give someone a penultimate?
Yeah, if you're like, I'll break up with you if you don't give me a pen. That's a
penultimatum. Boo!
Yes. Do you want to come a patron now, people?
Okay, a penultimatum is when you give someone two choices, but you're like, I don't really care which one you pick. All right, Maria, it is time for the Scryfall randomizer.
All right,
get it together.
Hit that random button and show me a random card from the history of Magic the Gathering. We don't know what it's going to be, and I'm going to try and guess what that card is based on the art alone.
Tell us what you see here.
Okay, this is a person. They're in the street. It's a street scene. They have their arm held out in front of them. The person is the focal piece of this art. They've got a staff with a rock at the end in another hand. They've got those sensors like priests have that make what? I don't know, make magic.
CENSORS.
Yes.
In a church, they just make incense.
And their hand has
in
like
magic, they can make magic.
I mean, I was imagining that the priest is like, this is the magic stuff I do, but that's probably not it. That's what I would do if I was a priest. I'd be like, what I'm doing right now?
I'm going to wave my censer, and now this is
magic.
The body and blood of Christ. We're going to chase away all the Catholics who listen to this podcast.
Oh, they've gone long ago. This person has their arm outstretched. It's green light emanating from their palm. I want to say this is from a Kamigawa set based on how the person is dressed, but...
Yeah, they have like a flat hat.
Yeah, maybe this is original Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Of some description. And I will say this card is a green card. 2 and a green. It's like a cityscape druid. And you can pay... It's a 1/1 for 3 mana. And you can pay, I don't know, another 2 and a green to go and fetch a land, sacrifice him. Oh. I don't know.
All right. This is a card called Yeva's Force Mage.
Okay.
It is 2 and a green.
Wow.
For a creature elf shaman.
I just felt 2 and a green from this card.
Yeah. It's a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Oh, okay. All right,
It is on Ravnica.
This is Ravnica.
Yeah.
Well, I should have known because it was a city in the background. But
yeah. I mean, we only know that it's Ravnica because of the flavor text. This has only been printed in Magic 2013 and Magic Origins.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting. Well, I've never been so wrong about what set a card was from when I felt I was so right about it, you know? Weird. Okay. Well, I'm going to hit random button for you now.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited.
You've seen this card before, and I love the art.
Oh, man. Okay, this is obviously a Rakdos card.
Speaking of Ravnica.
Because what I'm seeing here is a piece with, like, on the left-hand side is a person with, like, devil horns and wearing, like, a metal bodice and shoulder armor.
Yeah.
And very dramatic makeup with, like, a pixie cut. Basically, their style is... bumping is what I'm saying.
A plus.
Really good. And on the right hand side is someone with also very good style. Who is
stylish.
a Golgari. Actually, this is Golgari.
Yeah,
yes,
for
that's
sure.
Right. This is Golgari because the person on the right is absolutely Golgari. They have like their like shoulder pads are like fungus shoulder pads.
Cool.
And yeah, their outfit kind of looks like an owl if you look at it right.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, and they're like crossing arms, and then the Golgari symbol is between them.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, so do you remember this card?
I don't remember this card.
What do you think it does? It's called Bond of Revival, if you want that.
Bond of Revival, yes.
That might spark your memory.
This is, I want to say, 4 and a green. I do not remember what it does because I do remember that you didn't really draft it in the set. I don't remember it being good.
Okay, this is from War of the Spark. Okay, so it's not even...
Wait, let me guess, though.
Yeah.
4 and a green, Bond of Revival. It's a sorcery. I want to say that you, mill 5 cards and then return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield.
Yeah, very close, but it's black.
Oh.
So 4 and a black. You're right there,
that's
sorcery.
right.
Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until next turn.
Wow. All right. I was medium. I was very medium.
Yeah, you're pretty...
But like I said, you didn't remember. You didn't play this card in War of the Spark.
No, not really. I don't know. It
wasn't good enough.
Some sets, this card, you're like, yes, play this card all day. And some sets, you're like, wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
This was a set where you did not play this card.
That's so strange.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Well, there you go. It's time to talk about organized play, everybody. The OP announcement was, some people think, OP.
Yeah.
Overpowered.
Yeah. So we got a lot of info.
We
For
did.
once in our lives, we were not told. We were not given info that we were simply waiting for more info. There are some parts of it that are not 100% there yet, but there are lots of parts of it that are there.
I was going to say, we definitely got announcements about announcements leading up to this announcement, though.
Okay, we did get a lot of announcements
So here
about
we are,
announcements.
finally at the announcement.
Yes.
Yeah, people have been waiting for this announcement for a long time as to what's going to happen with the organized play, because over the past couple of years, the organized play system has been very, very loose.
Yes.
There's been set
Playing
championships.
it fast and loose, baby.
Yeah, before the pandemic and before esports started with Magic, we had Grand Prix, which fed into the Pro Tour, which fed into the World Championship.
You had PTQs, or you had PPTQs,
Or
which fed into RPTQs.
Yep.
Which is the most like what this is like.
Exactly.
With the only difference being that regionals in this instance are more
Bigger.
prestigious.
Yes. Exactly. So we've had a bunch of different things happening specifically over the last couple of years because Magic was, primarily played in paper for a long time until the esports angle started and we started the MPL and we started the Rivals Leagues.
Yeah.
Right? And that became the way people played online.
And that's when also they started the Mythic Championships, which were sometimes in paper and sometimes on Arena.
Exactly. So we had a weird amalgamation of both forms for a while. And then the pandemic happened. Everything went digital.
Yes.
It was like, boom.
It meant no more draft at these Pro Tour Mythic Championships.
We've only done it one time since.
Yeah, at the World Championship.
At the World Championship, yeah. And so a lot of people wondering, what was going to happen because the OP structure was kind of like, make it into these set championships and then maybe you can get to Worlds. And that was basically it. We had the MPL and Rivals, which are going to be sunsetted after this past year. So now we're starting with a fresh, clean slate of organized play and we're going pretty much back to something that looks a lot like what we had back when we were fully paper.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
I would say that it is a very big deal, actually. Not even just a pretty big deal. A quite big deal.
Quite big deal. A lot of people were just, once again, waiting with bated breath on this announcement because the gathering is such an important part of Magic.
And, obviously, there's people who are just like, why haven't we had this? And part of it is COVID, right?
COVID.
You couldn't have the
You
gathering
can't ignore
with COVID.
it. Yeah.
Literally, you were told not to have the gathering. Of any kind, have the gathering.
Indeed.
Please.
The CDC.
quote, the CDC. Please have the gathering. But, okay, Maria, we're going to start at the bottom of this pyramid.
Yeah, so the new structure looks like a pyramid. It's, a pyramid scheme. Someone's just kidding.
I know, it's not a scheme. It's a pyramid structure.
It's a pyramid structure, and the scheme is to get to the top. Anyway, it's a pyramid, and it's
It's a goal pyramid.
This isn't a pyramid scheme. It's a goal pyramid. You see,
it's a pyramid.
If you can get 7 more people to sell under you, it's a lot simpler than what we had in the esports version, and even simpler than what we had before in the paper version. Okay.
All right.
Starting at the bottom.
Starting at the bottom, there are regional championship qualifiers.
Yes.
These are hosted by WPN stores. They can have them whenever they want.
Yeah, as long as it's leading up to the regional championship, because that's what they feed.
Exactly.
Obviously.
They can be standard, modern, pioneer,
Limited.
and limited. That's right. There's a lot of format flexibility. There's a lot of scheduling flexibility.
Absolutely.
You can probably go to many of these depending on where you are and what kind of access you have to LGS.
Yeah, precisely. So Wizards is like, hey, we're just going to let local stores run these, which remind me kind of the RPTQs of the past.
Yeah.
Which were really, really fun to play in.
Oh, they were so very
We had
fun.
great times at them.
They were big.
They were big.
We would remember the Fantasy Flight Game Center?
Yes, that's
and
what I'm thinking
you
of.
were so happy when it was at Fantasy Flight
Yes.
because the venue was much nicer than some other venues.
Yes, and there's food.
Yes, that you could purchase.
Yeah. So that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Your local store will hold these, and then those will feed into the regional championship, and that's kind of like the big event. Some people are saying, well, that's more like a Grand Prix now, even though it's bigger than a Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where you're trying to get to if you play at your local store.
Yes. So speaking of regional championships,
Yep.
that's the next one up. There are 11 regions.
Yes.
And there is a designated organizer for each region
Yeah.
that WotC has collaborated and vetted.
Yes. So in the US, that's DreamHack, which is a little strange because DreamHack hosted some Magic events in the past, but they were all digital.
They were all digital.
Which is kind of wild. But they're like, oh, yeah, we'll do it
Can
in
you
paper.
hack paper?
I mean,
I think so. Ask
ask Watergate, you know what I mean?
Wow. What? A Watergate reference here on your podcast and on your Magic the Gathering podcast in the year 2022.
This all kicks off starting to feed into these regional championships starting this July 2nd. So the first regional championship, at least in the US, hosted by DreamHack, is going to be held in the fall in Atlanta.
Wow, it's going to be Pioneer. Wow. Amazing.
Gosh. It's like we're jumping back in with both feet. Not
Yeah.
even standard.
And it kind of depends on the region how many invites they get.
Yes. So for DreamHack, they have the most because they're the U.S. region qualifier, and they said they based this on population centers and whatever. They have 48 invites to allot to the Pro Tour. So in the U.S., for this first regional championship, 48 people will be going from the regional championship to the Pro Tour, as well as 2 people, the top 2 finishing players, will get invitations to the World Championship.
Wow.
That's huge.
That is huge.
Huge.
Some of the other organizers in Canada, there's face-to-face games.
And they're going to hold 2 because
Oh.
they're like, hey, Canada's big. We're going to have one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast.
Canada is big.
But I mean,
It's long.
Canada is the eclair of countries.
It is. If I were
Is it
to
longer than the U.S. though?
Yes.
Please Google, is
Is
Canada longer?
than the U.S.? You
Yeah.
got it. Here we go.
I mean, I don't know if, how do you really calculate this, but I suppose the internet will tell us shortly.
Including results for is Canada larger than the
No,
U.S.?
that's not
Search
what we're
only for is
asking.
Canada longer than the
Longer.
U.S.? Okay, Canada is the second biggest country on Earth.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay, well, that settles it. I mean, I'd still not the direct answer I was looking for, but
Yeah.
yes, that,
Wait, this actually doesn't make sense.
What?
None of what is... Okay. The United States has a bigger land area than Canada. So what does that mean?
that seems,
That means like it's
bigger.
not.
What?
The U.S. then sounds bigger.
Yeah. What do they mean? Like
Wow.
without Alaska or something?
I think that is probably what it means.
I want to know, if you're walking, which one will take me longer to walk across from point A to
Look,
point
okay.
B?
If we're not counting Alaska,
No.
which I think that we can agree that we shouldn't.
Okay.
You're telling me if you had to look, here's this edge here.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
it
here's
does
this far edge of Canada.
It does kind of look longer.
I think that it is longer.
If you know if Canada's longer than the U.S., please tweet at us with the hashtag #longboyupstairs. I'm sorry I said that, but I didn't think it through. It just came out.
Oh, man. Okay.
Face-to-face for Canada.
Face-to-face games. 2 of them because Canada's pretty long. Okay.
Oh, my God.
And then Europe, the Middle East, and Africa are all grouped into one, run by Legacy.
Strange, but okay.
Yes, Australia and New Zealand has one, and Good Games. And then yes, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So it'll be a big party, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Wherever the regional championship
and that is what they're trying to make these.
Yeah.
They're like, these are going to be like a big time.
A big
if you
time.
made it to one of these, congratulations. It's a big deal.
Yeah. They want to celebrate these and say, hey, you are an excellent Magic player. We want to celebrate that. They're giving promo cards to people who qualify for these. And truly, I think 48 spots at the Pro Tour from one of these tournaments is pretty generous. Yep. Like, it doesn't seem unfair to me at all.
No.
Some people are like, well, are you getting airfare to the Pro Tour or whatever? And the answer is no. Airfare is not being awarded anymore. However, the prize pool at the regional championships, they think will more than cover airfare. And in fact, you're probably coming out, at least according to Hugh Jensen, you're coming out probably likely more ahead in this system than you were in the previous.
Okay.
So there's that.
Well, he did have a lot of time playing in that system. So
that's very true.
Yes. Yeah, so they say, quote, the regional championships are big, big events, and we wanted accolades that matched the achievement of winning.
Yeah, there you go.
So they also think of these as kind of like a focal point for play in your regions. So they want to have like they want this to feel, I think, kind of like a Grand Prix vibe.
Yeah.
Because they want people to be able to come and play even if they're not playing in the championship itself.
So there will be other events. I think they're holding 10K tournaments at DreamHack that you can play in if you want to go, but you're not qualified. Like if your buddy's qualified and you're not, and you can head over there and play some 10Ks. I think they might even have last chance qualifiers or something like that at DreamHack, plus all the other stuff that's going on at DreamHack. So it's going to be like a really fun festival vibe. I'm sure there'll be Magic vendors, cosplayers, and that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Will there be coverage? That question was asked, and they don't have an answer for that quite yet, but I can't imagine that they won't.
Who knows?
But who knows?
We do not. That is one of the pieces that we do not know.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yes.
Okay. You did great at a regional championship.
I did it! In Pioneer, what deck was I playing, I wonder?
You were playing a combo deck.
I was playing some kind of Boggles deck.
That's not what I said, but okay.
Do you remember the last Pioneer deck you were playing?
No.
I have no memory.
The only one that I remember is the Inverter of Truth combo.
Yeah, the Inverter of Truth combo. When somebody found that, we were like, oh.
Sick.
All right, you did it.
Really sick.
But I believe I was playing a Boggles deck.
I believe that you probably were.
Got to crack open that Magic Online account.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Next up, you did well at a regional championship.
Yes.
You're headed to the Pro Tour, baby.
All right. The Pro Tour is back, including the branding Pro Tour. They said, this is such a strong brand. We never should have thrown it in the trash. We're going to dig in there like a little raccoon and get it out again.
So there will be 3 of them.
Yes.
Each year. They will have $500,000 in prizes, invites to the World Championship. It's
Classic
a
Pro Tour.
It's a Pro Tour, and we can just say that because we don't have to explain what it is because, like they said, there is like a lot of legacy around this name as opposed to just making up a new name and then trying to tell you what it means.
Yes. We get it. It's the Pro Tour. It's going to be split format once again. So we're going to have draft and we're going to have Pioneer. That's going to be the first one that happens. That's already been confirmed, which makes sense as regional qualifiers were Pioneer.
In the U.S. In early 2023.
Yes. So that's what we know. Yeah. And there will be coverage at these events.
Whoa.
What will that look like? Don't know yet, but it will occur. It will occur. Yeah. So that's the Pro Tour. Pretty much basically getting back to what we had before.
Yeah. Again, you can qualify for that by doing well in that regional championship or by finishing with 10 wins in a previous Pro Tour.
Yes.
Or by having enough adjusted match points.
Yeah. So adjusted match points are the way that you can chain together invites to Pro Tours if you don't hit that 10 wins number.
Yeah.
You'll have to make it back to another Pro Tour to do this. But if you finish like 6 and whatever, 7 whatever, boom.
You can slap them together.
Boom, you got another invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are also going to be more invites the first year of it.
Yeah.
As they kind of like, they call it, right, you're trying
Seeding
to
it.
populate the tournament with enough people.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then that brings us to
Drum roll, please.
the cherry on top of the organized play scheme. Of the organized play pyramid scheme. The World Championship.
Yes, the World Championship. Oof, such an exciting tournament. And this one, for the new play system, is going to be 128 players.
Wow.
Which is enormous.
I love it.
Me too.
Do you know what? That the World Championship used to be much bigger.
Yes, it did.
It has fluctuated in size all over the place since its inception.
Yeah.
It has been enormous, hundreds. It has been 18.
18 people.
And now it is going to be 128 players.
I love this. It just
too.
feels more like a big tournament when it's 128
it's
players
like a
as
big
opposed
deal.
to
It's a big
16.
event.
And also the metagame that comes out of it is going to be more representative of what actually exists in the world as opposed to a weird kind of one that develops because there's only 16 people.
As opposed to 18 people, all just trying to kind of like figure out.
Meta
just,
each other,
Yes.
right?
Rock, paper, scissors each other into oblivion.
It's very strange. So that price was going to be $1 million, which I love because there's nothing better than playing for $1 million prize pool.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in the U.S. in late 2023. Where?
All right.
We don't know.
We don't know, but somewhere in the U.S.
Somewhere.
All right. Oh my goodness.
But what about
Digital
play, Megan? We've talked about a return to
Kick it in
paper.
the butt.
We're like, hey, we're returning to paper. We're so excited about this.
Yes.
What does this mean? We've been running digital tournaments as our organized play model for the past 2 years.
And there's tons of players who have gotten into the game only via digital play.
Yeah.
And that's respect to that, man.
Absolutely.
You needed something to do during the pandemic, didn't we all?
Yep.
And we certainly played many hours of Magic.
And a lot of people saying, hey, I don't live near an LGS or I'm unable to leave my home as easily as other people. What am I supposed to do? Well, we don't exactly know yet because Wizards said they're going to announce what's up with digital play at the end of April.
Okay. So there was an announcement about an announcement.
Yes, indeed.
Hidden
Tucked
in here,
inside this.
like the filling in an eclair, which is always hidden. Am I right? You never know.
You never know which one you're going to get.
Is this just a shoe tube or is it an eclair?
Just a shoe tube. Delicious.
CHOU.
Indeed.
A shoe tube.
That's a great British Bake Off lingo for you there.
There you go. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Digital play.
Yes.
Announcing at the end of the month, but they did tell us a few things. They were like, guess what? You're going to be able to qualify for the World Championship on Arena and on Magic Online.
All right.
Okay, so that's still happening. They're still going to have the qualifier weekends. They're also going to include, what did they say? Exciting twists. So
who knows
I don't know
what that's
what that
going
means.
to be.
It means anybody who like makes it and like gets some max wins are going to put all their names in a hat and one of those people
And
go
then
on the
just
Pro
draw
Tour.
them. I thought it was gonna be like exciting twists while you're playing. Like you get an emblem and it's like all your mountains are islands. Exciting twist.
Exciting twist.
No, probably no twist like that.
Probably not. So we don't know any more details than that, but they just said there's going to be stuff. We just don't know what that stuff is. So I'm very excited to learn what that means because we've had some very cool digital tournaments and I want to know like what's going to happen with that. We're just like, we're done. No more. That seems very strange to me, given the amount of work that's been put in over the past 2 years. But yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. So if you're like listening to this and you're like, I'm overwhelmed, tell me what to do. Okay, here's what you do: is you're just gonna keep an eye out on your LGS, or general LGSs in your area starting July 2nd, because July 2nd is when they'll be launching those first regional qualifiers.
Yeah, you can even call them up, maybe a couple weeks before and be
Bring,
like,
bring.
are you going to be hosting some regional qualifier events?
Yeah, and then hopefully
probably.
they will be.
And then you can do well at those and head on over to the regional champs. And I think it'll be a super fun time,
Yeah.
Seems like it will be.
I hope so. people have generally been positive about this.
Yes.
Which is really saying something
Nice
when
change.
you talk about Magic players.
Yeah. I was really curious how people would react. And everyone basically seemed fairly positive about it. There are, of course, things that people are going to pick apart. Some people unhappy with how the Hall of Fame is handling things. Some people unhappy with how Europe has been, how many invites Europe gets, et cetera, et cetera. So little things. But I think overall, people are like, this is a good system. We're happy to be back in paper play. We're happy with this qualification path. The other main thing I've seen that people are a little sad about is the loss of Grand Prix tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
So those are not part of this system. But hopefully having a regional championship will kind of make up for that, for being like a GP, Vegas experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see
Yeah, exactly.
on those.
Yeah. How do you feel about this announce?
I feel good about it.
Yeah.
It is certainly much better than I was anticipating, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean,
Because who knew, right? It really felt like, I think a lot of people in the thick of this really felt like it was going to be like digital or bust, baby.
yeah. And I mean,
And it's really
that's
refreshing
fair.
to know that it's not.
Yeah, I agree.
Very happy about that.
I'm really excited for this to get underway and to see what those regional championships end up looking like, because I think it could be a super fun time. And just going back to the comfort and the warm sweater that is the Pro Tour. The warm Warning
Even though
sweater.
what you had to wear at them was a warm sweater, because convention halls are cold.
They're so
They're
cold.
so cold.
So cold.
The one in Atlanta is the coldest one that I remember.
Oof.
I remember at one point looking down and my hands were literally blue.
Yeah, convention
My
centers.
fingers
Turn
were-
off the heat.
were fully blue.
I don't remember if I was cold at DreamHack. Anyway, we'll
anyways.
update you.
Let's talk about the really important stuff here. What's the temperature?
What's the
gonna be at
temperature in
these
the
events?
building?
Yeah.
Um,
Let us know how you feel about it. We want to know.
yeah, absolutely.
Of course, everyone who's been a pro, past, present, or future, has tweeted their opinion, but we want to know what you think.
Yeah.
You can tweet it at us with hashtag longboyupstairs. Don't use that. Don't use it. Just tweet at us at GLHF Magic with what you think. Okay, Maria.
Yes.
Episode 4, Kamigawa Story.
Let's go.
Which we gotta get through this. There's only one more chapter after this.
Okay. Give me a quick recap for anybody just
Remember
joining
last
us.
time Kato ran into, while looking for
wall.
the Emperor, ran into a wall. Finally ran into Tamio.
Yes.
While he was looking for Nashi, the Nezumi, who is, turns out is Tamio's adopted son.
Yes.
And Tamio is like, you're a planeswalker too. And he's like, you're a planeswalker too. And Tamio is like, oh yeah, I met the Wanderer on Ravnica during War of the Spark.
That's right.
And he's like, what?
I've been looking for her.
Yeah, I've been looking for her. And Tammy's like, but her spark is unstable. She doesn't get to control it. She just gets planeswalked wherever.
And we said that's like Quantum Leap.
Yes, it is like the planeswalker version, the magic version of Quantum Leap.
Indeed.
Anyways, and then they go and steal the reality chip from Jingataxis's lab. Creepy lab where he's experimenting on Kami.
Yep.
And he steals it, and Kato steals it and runs away with it. And Tamio is like, I said we should come up with a plan, not that you should do something stupid and irresponsible. But that's what he did. Exactly. And he's running away from them.
Okay.
And then the Wanderer came in with her sword when all of the people were surrounding them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then it was like, there she is. And she
just came into existence.
Yeah, she planeswalked there, saved Kato, and then Tamio made them all invisible with reading one of her scrolls.
Great.
And they all escape. This is episode 4, The Break-In.
Ooh, okay.
And so now they all go back to the Imperial Palace because they're like, hey, there's been a war brewing essentially because you've been missing. So we should go tell people, hey, you're here. And so they go, and the Emperor is so happy to see Kyodai, obviously.
Yeah.
But Kyodai is like, the Emperor's unstable spark is also affecting Kyodai, the Kami that she has the link with.
Okay.
Anyways, so she's like, Kyodai is still upset by this. It's very difficult. And so they're like, okay, we have the reality chip. What if we let it attach itself to the Emperor? Will it stabilize her spark?
I mean, makes as much sense as anything.
Why not? Why not? Why not attach a piece of spooky tech to a person to try and solve their problems?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Sign me up.
they do, and it does help her stabilize her spark.
Oh.
But it also, because it's still connected to a machine in the lab, gives her visions of Jingataxius.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Can also Jingataxa see what she's seeing now through her eyes?
We don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. That doesn't seem to be indicated.
You should thought about that.
But she's like, okay, she also through this, I don't remember how they find out this, but they're like, oh, some of the people who were on like the people who were plotting to go to war with the Imperial Palace are going to attack now while everyone's off guard. Like, I think Jingataxius told them, I think, that the Emperor is back. And they're like, we need to attack now before they have time to like get everything together.
So who wants to attack? Is it the underground mob factions?
No, it's like a different faction that we honestly never heard that much about.
Okay.
And if I had like one kind of qualm about this story is that this guy is kind of like a fringe
random
group.
Okay.
Yes. But there's some people, they're like red. I want to say these are the red-green aligned
Okay.
faction that are like, okay, hey, we're going to attack right now.
Taking the opportunity, coming in, swords blazing.
Yeah. Great. They are called the Uprisers, the Asari Uprisers.
Well, wow. I mean,
very
apropos.
yes, very apropos. And so, anyways, but they're all trying to figure out. They're just like, okay, Jingataxius wants like the throne. He wants a war, and they're like, no, he doesn't want to start a war between the Kami world and the people world because there are a bunch of other things he could have done. Like bust open one of the spirit world gates, right? There's like all the like the merge gates, bust one of those open, or just like attack Kami in public.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that he could have done. So like, what does he want? And then Lightpaws and Kato's sister Aiko arrive. And they're like, okay, we've alerted all the Imperial forces. Like, they're going to be here to help guard Kyodai and the palace. And they're like, okay, we need to figure out then what Jingataxius wants. And we need to also go destroy Tameshi's lab where all of the weird, bad Kami experimentation was happening. And so they agree that they're going to split up. Kato and Tamio are going to take some tech and go blow the lab to smithereens.
Oh, all right.
They're going to free the Kami, blow up the lab. And then the Wanderer and Lightpaws and all of them are going to stay at the palace and fight.
So we haven't had a second here, but I mean, did Lightpaws, was anyone like, hey, Lightpaws, guess what? You were wrong. She wasn't kidnapped by the futurists.
There was no great moment where we got to just be like, suck it, Lightpaws, you were wrong.
Oh, dang it.
No, everyone's very diplomatic about the situation.
Second question.
Okay.
The reunion of the Emperor and Kato, was it very cute?
It was very cute.
Okay,
it was very
good.
sweet.
Okay,
it was
good.
very nice. Yes, it was cute and sweet and good. Anyways, there was this whole cute part where she was like, you've been looking for me this whole time. And he's like, how do you even know that? And she's like, well, I couldn't control my spark. And so sometimes I would land on a plane like after you had
see
been
you sleeping.
land on a plane after you had been there and people would tell me.
Oh.
And so she had heard stories of him going around the multiverse looking for her.
That's true love.
It's very, very cute.
Okay.
So, okay. Anyways, they're like, all right, they're going to
go blow up the lab.
They're going to go blow up the lab. While the other set of people stays and deals with the uprising. The uprisers.
The uprisers.
Yes, who are uprising. Very handy.
After they will have uprisen.
Yes. Okay, so they go back to Otawara, which is where the lab is, and then they're going inside, and Kato's like, this feels wrong. Everything's too easy.
Yeah. Classic
he gets
trap
inside
situation.
I mean, it is, Maria, spoiler alert, it is a trap. It is a trap. Why two smart planeswalkers couldn't figure it out? Obviously, the answer is to make story happen.
Yes, but
still,
so many times.
Really feels like they should have seen this one coming.
Yeah. You're like,
They get into the lab, and Kato's like, oh no, the Kami are already gone. He straight up murdered them.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
It's very sad.
Gosh. Huh.
It is very sad. Kato is like very sad, and he's like, I left them here to like have this happen to them.
Oh,
like,
no.
I suck. And Tamio's like, you didn't know.
You do. Oh.
Anyways,
tough love.
And then Tezzeret and Jingataxius are obviously there.
Together.
Are obviously there, and they're like, it wasn't even the Kami we wanted. It was you.
Oh.
It was planeswalkers that they
time.
wanted the whole time.
Oh.
And so they get there's a battle between them, and it's a problem because obviously Tezzeret has like absolute manipulation of metals.
Yeah.
And so all of Kato's telekinesis of metals, like, which is a big part of what his fighting is based on,
Yikes.
is like throwing daggers and like his like throwing star sword that he can like disassemble and throw with his mind. Tezzeret's like, I can one-up you with all of this metal manipulation. It is actually mine to control, so how about that?
So sit down.
Exactly. So, and like he like pulls down like metal, like Tezzeret uses his metal only telekinesis, his more powerful metal only telekinesis.
This is metal mind.
Yes, to like pull down parts of, you know, like lots of industrial stuff to like
Make a cage.
bind up Tamio, and put like he like puts a blindfold on her so that she can't read her scrolls because she can pull them out with her mind, but like if she can't see them, she can't do anything about it. And even
Should have memorized.
I know. Kato tries to like throw a smoke bomb essentially, except he can't even throw it because it's made out of metal, and so Tezzeret just pulls it back. And they both trapped.
Oh, geez.
Kato and Tamio both trapped by Jingataxius and Tezzeret, and like they're like, we're gonna experiment on you.
Wow. Okay, this is getting even darker by the minute.
It is very dark. Back at the Imperial Palace, luckily, right, the Wanderer still has that like connection via the reality chip.
Oh.
And sees this happen and is like, Kato and Tamio need my help. And so she, like, with Kyodai's help, she is able to planeswalk specifically where she wants to. So she planeswalks into the lab.
So you can planeswalk within a plane.
I guess.
Teleportation?
I am a little skeptical of that, right? Because one, we know from other past stories, it takes a lot of energy. It takes like a lot of energy to planeswalk. And she planeswalked only a few hours before.
Right.
And usually I think it's basically been pretty clear in the past that it takes a lot of time to recover from that.
Okay.
And I don't think that it's inside a plane that you can do it. But
I mean, maybe this reality chip.
Exactly. Maybe it's helping, or maybe because her spark was destabilized, it allows her to do different stuff.
Sure.
Who knows, right? There's some leeway here.
So she teleports.
She teleports with Kyodai's help to the lab where Tezzeret and Jingataxius are, obviously jumping right into the middle of a fight. She just like full on giant stab Jingataxius.
Oh, nice.
Just cuts open his chest. Just like, nyap. You know.
Sounded like a sad chainsaw.
And then like freeze Kato and Tamio. Where they were like bound to these like surgical tables about to be experimented on. Dark
I hate it.
and spooky, right? And so she leaps in and starts saving them.
And what's happening with Tezzeret? Well, she's saving everybody.
Tezzeret is there with Jingataxius, so she's fighting Jingataxius and Tezzeret.
And she slashed Jingataxius.
Yes, big slash on his chest.
But Tezzeret's fine.
Tezzeret is so far fine, but we're still in the midst of this fight, right?
Okay.
She this story ends when she leaps into this scenario where they had been trapped, where they had been tricked. Obviously, it was a trap.
Yes.
And she leaps in and starts saving them, and is like, Kato, quit making me save your butt.
Cute.
It is.
So they were obviously trying to complete them, right? Don't you think?
It seems that way.
Oh.
Like they were starting experimentation to try to complete them.
Dun, dun,
but the Wanderer leapt in.
Wow.
Saved them. For now. Only one more chapter after this.
I know. This was the penultimate chapter.
It was.
Well, this has been an exciting story so
It's
far.
a very exciting story.
And it's going to end in tragedy. And for that, I am even more excited.
We also get to learn stuff, right? Like, I guess we're meant to assume Tezzeret still has the planar bridge, right? You remember all those stories way back. He got control of the planar bridge. And so that must be how Jin Gitaxias ended up on Kamigawa in the first place, since he's not a planeswalker.
No.
So they must have a way
Interesting.
to move between planes right now.
And then the Phyrexians are going to take over and they're going to sloop their sloopy little arms and everything.
Yeah. Who knows?
I
They're
mean,
spooky.
that's my guess.
They're very spooky.
Spooky and sloopy.
They are spookier. I'm going to argue they're spookier than Nicol Bolas.
Are they spookier than Emrakul?
They're different kinds.
Yeah.
Right? Emrakul is very eldritch.
Yeah.
Like very, you can't fathom this monster. Right?
That's my Tinder profile line.
You can't fathom this. Anyways, and then like the Phyrexians are much more like Borg spooky.
Borg-like. Okay.
Which to me, I think if I were to argue one way or the other, I find the Borg spookiness more compelling for me.
Yeah. Well, you have a history of Borg being spooked by the Borg.
I have always been spooked by the Borg,
Yeah.
so it's a long history.
We'll have to do a Twitter poll about Magic's spookiest enemy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next week, the exciting conclusion of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty.
All right, everyone. We all know that Ultra Pro has started making these amazing fine art deck boxes.
Yes.
And fine art sleeves.
I'm
like
showing
these ones
these off.
that we have here.
Yes.
And we're just here to bring you a little ad to tell you about why it's better to have fine art with Ultra Pro.
Oh, hello. I'm looking for the Cubist exhibit.
Oh, of course. It's just over there. I'm actually about to begin a tour if you'd like to join.
Yes.
This is Death Dealer by American artist Frank Frazetta, painted in 1973 in oil on deck box. Inside is a perfectly honed modern Tron list. This is Where the Wind Takes You by American fantasy artist Amy Brown. It contains a popper list that many critics have called hot jank, but I've seen it and find it very imaginative. No touching, please. This, of course, is The Great Wave off Kamigawa, a woodblock print on deck box. It's the first in artist Hokusai's series, 36 Views of Mount Fuji. The deck inside is unsleeved, making this piece a hotbed of debate. I said no touching! Finally, we have The Starry Night by Dutch post-impressionist Vincent van Gogh. The deck inside is rumored to be a mono-blue commander list that can combo kill any number of opponents as early as turn 3. Of course, no one's actually seen it, and some people think that the deck box might actually be empty. I said no touching! I need this deck list!
I need that deck list. I need that deck list! Ultra Pro, you can touch it. Well, there you have it, everybody. Ultra Pro, it's art you can touch.
Yeah,
you know?
it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
I was always sad as a child they wouldn't let me touch the art in art museums. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ultra Pro, for making my childhood dream finally
There you
come
go.
true.
Do you want to lick a Van Gogh painting?
Now you can.
Now you can. Would you,
Yes.
if you were a billionaire?
Buy a Van Gogh to lick it?
Yes.
I would maybe.
question.
Maybe I'd buy it to touch it. I don't think I want to lick it though. But now that you've put the idea in my head, now
Don't
it's,
you kind of want to?
nestling in there.
Don't you kind of want to?
But then I'll have an emergency cleaner on hand to clean it off immediately after I lick it, so that I'm not doing any harm to it with my mouth acid.
Yeah. I mean, why are you really more destructive than any
Than air?
ecological? Exactly. Any other ecological phenomenon?
I assume so.
I guess. Is your saliva worse than light?
Google that. Did you mean is Canada longer than the U.S.?
Larger? Did you mean is Canada larger than the U.S.? Because the question you asked was fairly stupid.
While Megan takes a refreshing drink of Topo Chico, not a
yeah.
sponsor, we want to say thank you for listening to this episode of Good Luck High Five.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who is a patron. Shout out again to Nom 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 Yoshi and Ryan.
Thank you.
Please consider becoming a patron if you are not one. It truly does mean so much to us every single time, and it always makes a difference to us.
Yes. Please check it out. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you to Card Kingdom. Thank you to Ultra Pro for letting us make very silly videos on their behalf.
We love it.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
We had the exciting OP announcement to talk about this week.
Woo.
Streets of New Capenna is fast approaching.
We're going to have so much New Capenna stuff to talk about next week.
Yes, because they're kicking off previews this Thursday. And our preview card comes out on the 13th, so it comes out next week.
Amazing.
And then the pre-release is the week after that. Whirlwind season is here. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, get ready.
I know. I'm very excited to talk about New Capenna. It seems super sweet so far. And our preview card is awesome. So there's a little teaser for you. So we're going to talk about that coming up next week too. Wow, so much good Magic stuff on the horizon.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm gonna go put a chip in my body to fix everything that's wrong with me.
To stabilize your spark?
Yeah.
Nice. I thought you meant potato chip for a second.
Oh, well, I mean, that would solve half of my problems, probably.
Solve a fair number of problems.